Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very fun video to share with you. I'm not sure what I'm going to title this yet, but basically we're going to be talking about products that I have in my collection that I really enjoy, but I always forget to grab them. So if you guys did not follow this series, I do have a series that I post every 3 weeks or so called my Shop My Stash series. I will link the most recent above. Every 3 weeks or so, I go through my everyday makeup drawer, which is where I'm sitting right now at this desk. I go through, pull things out that I've been using that I'm ready to kind of put away for a while, and then grab new stuff out of these Alex 9 drawers here and bring them into my everyday makeup drawer. That way I'm constantly like rotating my makeup and not forgetting about things. But all of these products are products that I actually really enjoy, but I cannot remember the last time I actually pulled them into a Shop My Stash. They're products I just forget to reach for whatever reason. And hopefully I'm gonna probably watch this video back right before I do my Shop My Stash, which will be sometime next week, so that I can make sure to remember some of these products next time. So let's just jump right in. So I do have a few lip products first that I wanted to start with. The very first one is this lipstick from Makeup Forever. I have just one of these. This is the shade C106. I actually really like the formula and the shade of this, but for some reason I just never remember to reach for it. Maybe it's because I only have one of this one and I always want to like when I open that drawer, my lipstick drawer, I might be like, oh, I need to pull one of these MAC lipsticks in this time, or maybe I should grab one of my Burt's Bees lipsticks, and I don't really think about the single ones that I have sometimes, but this is a nice lipstick. I don't think it's like fantastic. I don't think the formula is it's not one that I need to go and buy every shade they have. I think it's just pretty average as far as formula goes, but I like this color and I like the formula enough that I should be wearing it, and I just never reach for it. In fact, you can probably see it still looks pretty much brand new, because I haven't used it very much. So we definitely need to be pulling this in very soon. The next lip product, this is one that I never remember to grab these. These are from Lancome. These are their Juicy Shakers. I have some of the matte ones and I have some of the original Juicy ones. They always separate though. You have to shake it up really super good before you use it. This one is called Berry in Love. I also have this matte one in the shade Pink Power, and the last one I have is kind of a orangey red, and that one is called Kiss Me Cherie. Like I said, I do like these, but I just always forget to grab them. I feel like the reason I forget to grab these is because they don't really fit a category. They're not necessarily a standard bullet lipstick, they're not a liquid lipstick, they're not really a lip tint. I don't know, they're just such a unique product. When I open my drawer up, I usually am looking for like, oh, let's grab a couple liquid lipsticks, or let's grab a lip pencil, and I never remember to reach for these. So I definitely need to get some more use out of them, because I think they're a cool idea. They're very comfortable to wear. They're one of those products that on a day where you're just running errands and you don't want like a super sharp, very like opaque lipstick, these are really nice because it's more like a sheer wash of color, but I definitely need to get some more use out of those guys. And then the last lip product that I wanted to mention were these liquid lipsticks from NYX. These are called the Liquid Suede lipsticks. I actually had one of my former coworkers talk about these to me, and so I went and got a couple shades. I have just 2 of them in my collection. This one here is called Tea and Cookies, and this one is called Soft Spoken. I actually really like both of these shades. I will do some swatches for ya. There's some swatches of those. I actually do like both of the shades that I have, and I like the formula. The formula reminds me of the Too Faced Melted Lipsticks, if you've tried those ones. I think they're really nice, very comfortable, very long wearing, but I just forget about them. I forget that I have them. They're actually probably my favorite drugstore liquid lipstick I've ever tried, but I just always forget they're there. So that is something I definitely need to grab next time. Yeah, I really want to use those more. All right, moving on from lip products, I do have some face products to talk about. Let's start with another drugstore gem. This is the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana powder. Now, this powder is a cult classic. It's something people talk about all the time. It's just a fantastic powder. It really is a dupe for those hourglass powders. It's a very subtle highlight, subtle enough that you could really use it to set your whole face if you want a very glowy look, or you can use it as a very subtle highlight where there's no glitter at all. I just think it's a fantastic powder. It's very beautiful. It is a huge pan, so it's gonna take you forever to go through this product. And when I first got it, I was using it all the time, but I hardly ever reach for it anymore, even though I still Really, really love it. So this is another product that I just kind of forget about, but I really need to give some more attention to this guy. I do have just one bronzer to mention. I don't have a huge bronzer collection, so I feel like I do a little bit better remembering to use all those products, but this one here from Estee, I always forget about this guy. Like, I literally forget about this all the time. I think I used it a handful of times when I first got it, and I have not used it since then. I have the shade 01 Light Medium. It did have a little bit of an overspray on it, and I think I just kind of scraped that off, but it is basically just a matte bronzer. It is a little bit on the warm side, but I always just forget that I have this, and to be very honest, I don't even remember if I like it or not. I'm assuming I do because I would have decluttered it. I went through a very extensive declutter this year, so I know this would have not made it through that had I not liked it, but it's been so long since I used this that I cannot even remember what I think of the formula, so I definitely need to bring this into my next Shop My Stash so that I can get some more use out of it. All right, I do have one like face highlight to mention as well. This is from the brand 100% Pure. This is called their Gemmed Luminizer, and I have the shade called Moonstone Glow. It is kind of a pinky champagne color. The color is really nice, and the formula is pretty decent. It's a much more subtle highlight, just similar to the Reserve Your Cabana. I don't even know if you'll be able to see the swatch. It's right here. It's very subtle, so if you have more mature skin or you like a more subtle highlight, you'd probably really enjoy this. I think it's a really nice highlight, but again, it's just one that I always forget I have it there. I think it's because I have so much highlighter, this just gets lost in that drawer, but I definitely need to pull this in and use it some more. I have a few different blush formulas that I just kind of forget to reach for. The first one, again, is Wet n Wild. I love Wet n Wild. They're one of my favorite drugstore brands, and they have so many great products, but they kind of, again, get lost in my drawer. So these are their Color Icon blushes, and they had reformulated these, I want to say, recently, and I picked up a bunch of them. So I have 3 shades. I think the formula on these is gorgeous. It's beautiful, beautiful blush, especially for a drugstore option. Such a great drugstore blush. But again, I just kind of forget to grab them. They're not one of my top 5 favorites, so I find that I keep reaching for the same ones over and over again, and these are getting kind of lost in the drawer. I do have the shade Rose Champagne, which is that kind of neutral pink color, really pretty. And then this one is called Apricot in the Middle. This is a really good coral shade, and there is a swatch right there. It's kind of like an orangey coral. And the last one that I have is called Pearlescent Pink. That's what that looks like. This reminds me of Pore Vita from Kat Von D, by the way. It's very similar. It's a little bit more of a vibrant pink right there. So I definitely want to get some more use out of these blushes. I think it's a great drugstore blush formula, and I really need to use those more often. And then I do have a couple single MAC blushes. I find I forget to reach for these because I do have a MAC blush palette that these don't go in. I didn't want to depot this one because it's a baked blush and they're very hard to depot, so I kept this in a single pan. And then this one, because it was in the limited edition wash and dry packaging, I didn't want to depot this one, so I ended up keeping these as singles, but I always forget to grab them because they are in a single package. So this one is called Hipness. I love this color. I really like the formula of MAC blushes. I think they're really nice. And this one is called Gentle. This one is stunning. It's one of my favorite winter shades, but again, I just need to use it more. All right, along the same lines of face products, a lot of these are face products. The next one is this little palette here from Tarte. Now, the problem with my face palettes is I feel like I forget to use them for several reasons. I have a ton, so if I open that drawer, I'm most likely only going to grab 1, maybe 2 things at the most. But I usually do that drawer last, so a lot of times I've already gone through my single blushes and bronzers and highlights and grabbed so much there that I'm like, I'm gonna skip this drawer. But I need to make it a point to get more use out of these products this year, and this is one of them that I feel like I just haven't got enough use out of, and I love this palette. I love this individual bronzer. I think it's fantastic. This is the Park Avenue Princess Matte Bronzer, by the way. I only have the shimmer bronzer in a full size. And the matte one I only have in this palette. And then it does come with a blush and a highlight as well. And they're all very beautiful formula, gorgeous products. I just need to use it more. And then next I have this here, which is the Tarte Twinkle, Skin Twinkle palette. This is the original palette. So it's the one that has the 3 pans in there. I don't like this middle shade. I think most of us found that to be a very strange, weird, scratchy formula. But these 2 highlights on the ends are beautiful. And I just always forget to grab this. I don't think I've pulled this in since I first got it. And it really needs some love because I think it's a beautiful palette and I just really need to utilize it more. All right, and then last but not least, I have some eyeshadows to talk about. So I do have some single shadows that I always forget to grab, and that's these guys here from L'Oreal. These are the Infallible eyeshadows from L'Oreal. This is one of my favorite single eyeshadow formulas. I think it's a very good dupe for the Kat Von D Metal Crush eyeshadows, which I love, but I just forget to grab these all the time, and I just really need to use them more. I have 4 shades. My favorite by far is Iced Latte, but I really love Amber Rush as well, and again, I need to reach for them more. I need to pull them in so that I can get more use out of those because they're really fantastic. And then last but not least, I have a couple eyeshadow palettes that I always forget. I always forget about this little guy here. This is the Walking on Eggshells Trio from Wet n Wild. I think I forget about this because it's so tiny, and for that reason, even when I do pull it into my everyday makeup drawer during a Shop My Stash, I always forget to grab it or use it when I'm applying my makeup for the day because I feel like it's kind of boring and it's more of a supplementary palette. You can't, I mean, you could really use this on its own, but you would get a very basic look and the same look every time. So I always find that I want to mix it in with other palettes, but the formula is so good, I don't want to let go of it because I actually really do like these, but I think I might eventually depot these, even though I hate depotting because I suck at it. I might end up depotting these because I just really love them, but I just don't like having them on their own in this little palette. All right, and then the very last product I wanted to mention is this palette here from MAC. This is the Warm Neutrals eyeshadow palette. I just need to use this more because it is one of my favorite palettes and it just doesn't look too used or abused because I have so much eyeshadow. Even after my massive eyeshadow declutter that I recently did, I still have a lot and I find it hard to give the love and attention to every palette that it deserves, but this is one of my absolute favorites. I've talked about this palette for years, ever since I got it. It's made my top 5 favorite palettes quite a few times. I just think it's a fantastic quality. The color selection is great. You can come up with so many great neutral looks from this palette, and it's just a great everyday kind of palette. So I really need to break this out and use it a lot more. All right, you guys, so those are all the products that I wanted to share with you today in my, what am I gonna call this? Forgettable products, products I don't use enough, whatever I called it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'd love to hear what products do you love but you forget to reach for. Let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.